How do you truly listen to another human being? How do you notice them? How do you really hear them?
I always hated the term active listening. If anything, it's proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you start to try to anticipate where somebody's going, you're dialed in more. Because along the way, either you're congratulating yourself for being right, or when suddenly they say something that surprises you, you really notice it. Like, that's not what I expected. You're dialed in, you're listening. So it's proactive. And then one of the reasons, we named the book Tactical Empathy. Name the book Never Split the Difference, but we're talking about tactical empathy. Mm-hmm. Calibrated emotional intelligence. What's it calibrated by? First, it was experience as hostage negotiators, and we've come to find out that our experience as hostage negotiators is backed up by neuroscience. Another reason why I listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast all the time. Heavy on the neuroscience. Mm-hmm. And so then emotional intelligence calibrated by what we know about neuroscience. What do we know about neuroscience? And I'll talk about it from a layman's perspective, and to even say we is an arrogant thing, human beings. I didn't do the research. I'm scooping up as much of it as I can as a layman. The brain's largely negative. I think there's ample evidence. People would argue with you as to what the wiring is and what does what, and the limbic system and all of that. But the brain is basically 75% negative. As in a layman, I make that contention. Number one. Number two, the best way to deactivate negativity is by calling it out. And I could say, look, I don't want you to be offended by what I'm getting ready to say. That's a denial. Your guard is up. You're getting ready to get mad. If I say, what I'm getting ready to say is probably going to offend you. Now you relax a little bit and you go, all right, what is it? And then I say it, whatever it is, and you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Because we knew from hostage negotiation, by calling out the negativity, deactivate it. And then a number of neuroscience experiments have been done right and left by calling out negativity, deactivating the negativity.
Calling out ahead of time. So like acknowledging that this is ahead of time, that this is going to hurt.
The experiments that I've seen have been when the negativity was inflicted, and then having the person that it was being inflicted upon simply identify it.
Just identify.
Yeah, what are you feeling? I'm angry. And the anger goes away.
It's tough because I've had a few, and again, we're dancing between things, but I've had a few conversations where anger arose in the guest I spoke with.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure identifying it. That's like leaning into it and going into the depths. Because that's going to the depths of some emotional, psychological thing they're going through that I'm not sure I want to explore that iceberg with the little ship we got. You have to decide, do you want to avoid it? Or do you want to lean into it? It's a tough choice.
It's the elephant in the room.
It is an elephant in the room. It is an elephant. Especially when, I think that's the big difference between conversations and negotiations. Negotiation ultimately is looking for closure and resolution. I think general conversations like this is more exploring. There's not necessarily a goal. Like if I had to put a goal for this conversation, there's no real goal. It's curiously exploring ideas. So that gives you freedom to not call out the elephant for a time. You could be like, all right, let's go to the next room, get a snack, and come back to the elephant.
Right. All right. So I'd make a tiny adjustment on the negotiation definition.
Sure.
Because you said, I think, seeking closure. You used two words, and closure was one of them.
Goal is maybe another. Well, yeah. What is negotiation?
Well, I would say seeking collaboration, and because closure kind of puts a little bit of a finality to it, and the real problem in any negotiation is always implementation. That's why we say yes is nothing without how, and yes at its very best is only a temporary aspiration. It's aspirational. It's usually counterfeit. So if you're looking for, huh?
That's a good line. Yes is usually counterfeit. It's aspirational without the how.
Yeah.
It's just a good line. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been working on it. I was practicing. In front of the mirror before I
Doing
came in
pretty
today.
good. You got you got a bright future ahead of you. You should write a book or something, right?
Yeah.
Your book is excellent, by the way.
Thanks. Appreciate that. What am I doing here anyway?
This on
Yeah.
Earth in general?
On you, with you.
I don't know. We're collaborating.
Why me though? Why'd you want to talk to me?
I've heard you speak in a few places. I was like, this is a fascinating human. I think on Clubhouse and different places, and then I listened to some YouTube stuff, and this is just you meet people that are interesting. That's what I love doing with this podcast is just exploring the mind of an interesting person. You notice people sometimes. Sometimes there's like a homeless person that's outside of 7-Eleven. I notice, who are you?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It doesn't I don't look at the resumes and the credentials and stuff like that. It's just being able to notice a person.